Okay, hello. Today I will be listening to Wildlife by La Dispute. This is a request from Patreon. I thought, why not? Let's try something different. As always, this whole video will be up uncut, unedited on my Patreon, social media linked below. First track is called A Departure. Not the jump scare. So tense.
I know I never used to feel like this. I used to never think of death or hear voices. I used to feel like everything was perfectly in order, a normal life. I guess then came a departure.
I think it's gonna take me a second to adjust to these vocals, which is fine.
I guess they shaped after that, and I'm mostly scared now.
So emotive. So angsty.
I'm not sure the whole story.
So obviously, we have a letter addressed to, crossed out. Night fell on me writing this, and I ran out of paper, so I crossed the name out at the top of the page. Not sure why I'm even writing this, but I guess it feels right. It sort of feels like I have to, like an exorcism. I have a feeling we might not be in for a happy album today. It's writing this to, like, release some kind of deep-seated issue in him. Feels like an exorcism. Very intense. I know I never used to feel like this. I used to never think of death or hear voices. I used to feel like everything was perfectly in order. A normal life. But I guess then came a departure. So like some kind of change. Seems like he kind of feels like he's losing his mind a little, doesn't trust his own thoughts. I wrote some notes in the margins explaining it. The rest is in between lines, or in the fine print. I guess it is time to get into the story. I do feel like it took me a moment to kind of get accustomed to the more like shouty vocals. That is maybe a little outside of my comfort zone or like my usual listening, but I do like how it conveys a lot of feeling. Like I can understand the appeal of that really raw kind of delivery, so I'm sure I will get more used to it with time. The first of 4 monologues that guide the listener through each thematic section. Wildlife as an album was written to portray a collective view of the band's hometown and themselves, presented in the guise of a make-believe author that is writing it all. An introduction to this section of the album, I suppose. Let's continue. Oh god. Okay.
that follows as the keys fall down and bring an order first, then chaos, then a calm that paints every shift in murals on the wall. As it presses to your neck, it clutches to your hips, softly sings to you of fireworks and God, art, sex, and it's strange.
The way it's like
From outside,
constantly shifting.
and even he has to admit a certain melody in it, but then why can't he harmonize? It's like the city's got its own song, but he can't play along. He sees the notes as they fly by, but always plays them wrong.
I do really like how emotionally intense this feels. Again, like the distress in the vocals feels so visceral. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like that song does go so hard, but it also feels really unstable in like a really cool way. It feels very intense, like a shadow on a shadow, a phantom in a film strip, faint glimmer of the past trapped in mother's old slides, sits still in the apartment while sifting through old pictures of the child that he once was and the sense of hope they framed. It's a shame. Oh God, am I like emotionally prepared for this? Like music as a form of release, which it very much sounds like. It really sounds like some like built up angst being unleashed. It's like the city's got its own song, but he can't play along. He sees the notes as they fly by, but always plays them wrong. And all the ones who seem to fit the best into the chorus never notice there's a song. And those who seem to hear it end up tortured by the chords when they fail to find a way to sing along. These lyrics are wild. It is very sad. I feel like I can definitely relate to that feeling of loneliness where it's like, am I the only person in the world who feels this way? Like everything seems to come so much more easily to everybody else. Like, am I completely alone in this? And you're not, obviously, but sometimes it does feel like it. Anyways, crazy song, very emotionally overwhelming, very powerful. Let's keep going. St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church Blues. So cathartic.
Like I knew, and I can't find it back. No, not ever. So I've been thinking about that. Sometimes go slow when I drive by. I'm a home of stone and a house so homely. Grow so empty.
The up and down.
What gave those people purpose? Past death approaching constantly. Now left to crumble slowly. Now left to wither with the weeds. Now left to ice and vandals. The advent candle.
I love how much you can feel the desperation in it. Oh man. We're only 3 songs into this, and I can already see how this would be an album that you could get really attached to. Like, I feel like the openness of it and like that like feeling of it is just like really remarkable. Again, like the writing is just ridiculous, like comparing himself to this abandoned church. I am very fascinated by abandoned buildings. I think about them all the time. I think there's something so interesting about the idea of a church where people used to like congregate that probably meant a lot to a community of people being deserted. I think there's something really deeply sad about that. Yeah, I think it's just like there's something so interesting about a place like that used to be so central to people being left behind and lost to time. On Easter, a celebration carried on for God and hope and refuge, to keep each other alive, to give shelter from the storm and keep warm. The congregation gathers outside in the parking lot, each service done. They keep the old hymn rolling on and on and on. And I'm feeling like his life is kind of like crumbled in the same way. The parking lot grew dim and thin of sinners and saints until the voices, unceasing, slowly faded to black, until the weeds stormed the concrete from unattended cracks. It had to know, had to feel that glory never coming back. Like I could feel it when the passion left, the last of what I had. It had to know like I knew. And then yeah, that like glimmer of hope at the end. And just the other day I swear I saw a man there, pulling weeds out of the concrete, sweeping up and patching cracks. I saw him lift a rag to wash the years of filth from off those windows. Made me wonder if there's anyone like that for you and me and anyone else who broke and lost hope. The St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church is a real church in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That used to be its hometown. Once owned by the powerful Missionary Baptist Church, the church then decayed and the buildings went the same sad way. The artist compares his story to the decay of this church. Next track, Edit Your Hometown. It's like so heavy emotionally. Making me feel like weirdly claustrophobic. I feel like this song hits extra hard right now because it's December, which means like all my high school friends are in the same place. We're seeing each other for like the one time a year. The way this is written is like, first of all, really great. But I do really like the way that these songs are structured. I feel like it kind of feels like you're reading someone's diary or like listening to someone ramble. I think it's like written in a really striking way. Rewind and find a younger man, all hopes and goals and dreams alight, bright with friendship at the crossroads in the night. Now make a choice, the city said. We were barely 20 then. But while I swore it my allegiance, they chose leaving, all my friends. And now it's letters, maybe phone calls that come less and less each year. Again, like the loneliness. I still believe I might get left here. I might turn 63, still sweeping up the gutters in the street, or weeding concrete, like a little callback to the previous song. And yeah, that feeling of like being left behind and abandoned, much like the previous song. The protagonist is the only one within a circle of friends who decided to remain in his hometown while all the others move out. He finds himself alone with no more friends and having to face all his pains and fears without the help of anyone else. A letter is next.
Everybody wants a reason for everything. It's so much easier with someone or something to blame. I've always struggled at the root of the problem. Has it been absence or my constant lack of defense? I've never spent a lot on finding a remedy. I guess I figured that it hurt for a reason. I guess that's why I've always turned to writing it down. Not just in stories, but the letters in between. Self-defeating, yeah, probably, but I don't know that I had total control over it. And I'm not sure it even matters why. Sometimes things happen and you can't do anything. Plus I'm the only one who deals with it anyway. So if everyone can do me a favor and just put their fingers down and keep their mouths sorry. I know I seem angry, I'm not. I promise I just know I did this to me. But just forgetting never really made sense to me. So I haven't been. Do I feel embarrassed about it? I think you know the answer to that. I think you'd probably feel a little bit embarrassed for me, wouldn't you? I know.
Sorry, I think I've been silent this whole time.
Ages ago, been happy already, but it's never been
This is very depressing.
me. It never got me anywhere with anyone. No friendship or hobby, no lovers, bad words. But looking back, I maybe never tried hard enough, and it is my fault. Maybe I never tried at all.
And yeah, I know I should be finding another way. I know that I should be out seeking a substitute. But just forgetting never really made sense to me, so I haven't been. I know I've only ever tried a handful of times to sever this thing torturing me. It never got me anywhere with anyone. No friendship or hobby, no lover's bed worked. But looking back, I maybe never tried hard enough, and it is my fault. How's everyone feeling? Are we good? I'm not good. The narrator reflects on his struggle with depression. He is ashamed and feels like he did it to himself. He might be going back and forth and sort of asking himself questions, talking to himself. Or the song is written to someone, you, aka the person to whom the letters are written. It is kind of interesting talking about this album because I feel like it's one of those things that hits a lot harder when you relate to it, but I also don't want to like overshare because YouTube is not my therapist, nor do I want it to be. That feeling of just not having the motivation or like the initiative to do anything about your situation, even though you know that it would like drastically improve your life. I get it. This is really fucking sad. Anyways, next track, Safer in the Forest, love song for poor Michigan.
I've been watching a slow thaw come around. I've been waiting in the cold and hazy blue. I've been driving alone out to the edge of town. I've been thinking too much of you. Last snowfall left splinters and some winters never end. Neither rain nor wear and sunshine.
Sounds nice.
Like lovers and some summers just pretend only warm the air. I've been thinking of exile.
Sounds kind of dreamy. Sad at the same time.
The only warmth is a warmth alone. He packed up, took 75 northbound to a brand new life and waved goodbye to the world in the rear view mirror. Saw it clear in hindsight, the shape of a skyline traced in a flame from the windows ablaze. The people restless in the street lights glowing like many beacons in the sea, or like a lantern lit for the ones still lost out in the dead of the night. Like lightning striking darkness once. No thunder, no pain. Like thunder underwater, he hears it fading yet feels no pain at all.
Part 2. The shift.
To a boring, desperate city. It's been weeks since I've been around you. Has the fear begun to fade away? Like sunlight when it sinks into the lake. Are they now building up or breaking down and boarding up the
And then the intensity.
The whole town been for close now. And what happened to those youthful dreams sunk deep in the river weed? I will hold these old streets sweetly in my head like her, and I will praise their bravery always till the end. Let's us confess the plague of joblessness, a temporary illness. Let us wave their flag from there to here and then over and again. And let us hope for better things, though we may not ever get them. We will rise again from ashes one day. Until then, roll, just roll me away.
Yeah, I like the shift of him like getting away. I feel like I can picture him in the first part, like in his car driving away, you know, in the second half addressing the city, saying his goodbyes to it. It's not the weather in the city or the highway moan, not the street or the buildings, neither wooden nor stone. Every reason to leave this place behind, why I should be alone, are made of flesh and bone. Like there's the isolation again, like not connecting to the people around him, just wanting to get away from them. By choice, a noiseless chorus blows through the leaves and trees and brings a peace at last, from a place where the song kept changing just when he was starting to get it, when he was starting to trust there'd be a day he'd find a way to keep the rust at bay. Like earlier in the album, when he was talking about like the city having its own song or whatever, and like how he felt like he didn't fit into it, and now that he's alone he doesn't hear it anymore. He's like not bothered by the pressure of other people around him. He's finally at peace. He just needs to get away. I need to leave. I can't marry this place. I won't bury the past. I just need a change of scenery. What is going on in Michigan? Anyways, the most beautiful bitter fruit.
After sundown, before sleeping, I am the worst of me. I am a mess of these old themes in the murmur of half dreams. Whisper seductively in stage scenes. It's fear fiction. These visions caught somewhere between delusion and prophecy. What I haven't done, what I wanted to, what I fear you have becomes reality here. Bright lights in the young night keep to the beat. A classic party scene, crowded and interesting. No love, no life, no history. Just touch,
The emotion of this is just so like impactful. Like it feels so raw.
Between a longing for more than what the body wants now and what the body wants now more than anything. Was it integrity that kept my hands to myself, or just the thought of getting too far ahead of you? Was it that I got too tired of the consequence, or was I just scared? I only know I never wanted to get left behind. No pauses, not a second guess. First a swing, then a stumble, then a swagger. They're just movements towards feeling. It doesn't matter, neither hesitate to carry on. A kind of energy, sweat and block out everything to find every aperture and compel the animal parts.
Like I was talking about the vocals after the first song, and I didn't know how I felt about them, but they are kind of what this album needs. Like, if this was performed in a really normal, polished way, it wouldn't hit like this.
I've made a tale of it here, still it's a little unclear who's been haunting who. And time can be such a funny thing, always moving to the future, glorifying the past and amplifying the pain in frames of glass. They hear the notes being played and try to sing along. Don't be ashamed, be free to the feeling. Don't be ashamed, get feeling. A voice in a body that makes sense. I felt it.
Okay. Bright lights in the young night keep to the beat. A classic party scene, crowded and interesting. No love, no life, no history. Just touch, just chemistry. Just a roaring undercurrent, simple and sensory. It is interesting how much this contrasts with the previous song, which was all about like isolating himself, whereas this is very much about like intimacy with someone. And in that moment, sparks and harps play out, sweeping melody through fog and fantasy, and in that moment there's an honesty, instinctive and pure, but it departs like it came, rapid and bearing no more than fleeting ecstasy of natural harmony. Yeah, there's obviously like still a lot of anxiety in this song, but it does feel very different from the others lyrically, since it is so much about like wanting that closeness with someone and like tasting the fruit and giving into temptation, even if the feeling that you get from it is only momentary. Interesting song. The song, at least at surface level, is about being a teenager and exploring your sexuality. Cool. Next track, a poem.
Third time writing you a letter, getting darker.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting worse and worse. I had a reason for the writing, but trying to exercise my demons didn't work. To try to rid me of the worry and to purge you out of wonder for the future and the hurt. I wrote a poem. See, lately I've hated me for overplaying pain, for always pointing fingers out at everyone but who in fact is guilty, and for picking at my scabs like they could never break, but they can and they will, and I'll spill like a leak in the basement. I'm drunk in the night choir, just slur all those words to make day beat that sweet old refrain.
Feels so like so much of this video is just gonna be me sitting here in silence looking concerned.
Shortness of days, the replacement, the purpose, the things swept away by the worry, the wonder, the slightness of frame, the replacements for feeling, the casual day, and the worst of the wildlife, wears clothes and can pray, and the worry, the wonder, 3 meals a day.
The worst of the wildlife wears clothes and can pray. I do think it is cool to have the album like divided into these sections with these letters. They kind of feel like little like checkpoints or something. That being said, this is getting dark. Third time writing you a letter, getting darker. I'm getting worse and worse. I had a reason for the writing, but trying to exercise my demons didn't work. See, lately I've hated me for overplaying pain, for always pointing fingers out at everyone, but who in fact is guilty, for picking at my scabs like they could never break, but they can. And they will, and I'll spill like a leak in the basement, a drunk in the night choir. Is that a Leonard Cohen reference? Yeah. I've been very obsessed with Leonard Cohen's music lately. Only death unimpeded, not slowing its pace, brings that petty old worry and wonder away. Feeling concerned. Let's keep going. King Park is next.
Another shooting on the southeast side. This a drive-by midnight outside of the bus stop. 5 Below in Franklin or near there, not far from the park. About a block from where the other shooting was last month. Or was it last week? Shots were fired from an SUV heading northbound eastbound. A target arrival, but they didn't hit the target this
What the fuck?
Everybody gossiping. Whose kid got hit? Where did it hit him and who could have fired it? Everybody wondering, how did it happen again? And is he dead? These children are kids. Everybody wondering how far they were from where the victims live. And I visit them, their houses.
Feels so vivid.
I visit them, my spirit soaring high and high up over King Park. Leaves the crime scene, travels further back till far before the shooting. Through their windows to their living rooms. But there cannot be a reason, not for death, not like this, not like this.
The way it's delivered with so much passion is like chilling.
Days later, they made funeral plans. The family. 3 days later, a mother had to bury her son. Not far away, the shooter holed up in a hotel near to the highway with a friend and the gun. That same gun. And notified the authorities who surrounded the hotel.
making me so
First
anxious.
arresting an accomplice while attempting to flee, then chasing him up the staircase to the floor where he'd stay. He closed the door hard behind him, locked himself in the room. They could have kicked in the door, but knew the gun was still with him, one he'd already used, and so they feared what he'd do. I floated up through the window of the room to the west. I hovered out to the hallway, tried to listen in. I heard them trying to reason, get him to open the door. His uncle begging and pleading, half collapsed to the floor. I felt the burden of murder, it shook the earth to the core. Felt like the world was collapsing, then we heard him speak. Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? Can I ever be forgiven cause I killed that kid? It was an accident, I swear it wasn't meant for him. And if I turn it on me, if I even it out, can I still get in or will they send me to hell? Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? I left the hotel behind, don't wanna know how it ends.
That final verse is so intense with the buildup. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to talk about this. It's kind of like unbelievable how big of a range of emotions that this song fits into less than 7 minutes. The target arrival, but they didn't hit the target this time. They hit a kid we think had nothing to do with it. Like, obviously we have this drive-by shooting gone wrong where a kid gets shot accidentally. There's like so many perspectives. There's so much emotion to take in. There's like the grieving mother. There's the crowd of people gossiping. And then there's like the shooter in the hotel, only 20 years old. There's like his uncle begging him to concede. Can I still get into heaven if I kill myself? Can I be forgiven because I killed that kid? It was an accident. I swear it wasn't meant for him. And if I turn it on me, if I even it out, can I still get in or will they send me to hell? Like the absolute desperation, the regret, it all feels so intense. It like needs a word more intense than intense. It's like honestly a little disturbing how vivid the feeling of this song is. And then like on top of that, you have this narrator who is like visualizing all of this, which I find really interesting. It's like the kind of like morbid curiosity of wanting to know everything that happened until the end where he decides like it's just too much for him and he doesn't want to see how it ends. I want to write it all down so I can always remember If you could see it up close, how could you ever forget? How senseless death, how precious life. I want to be there when the bullet hit. Like, there's so much to take in with this one song. And I feel like I could sit here and talk about this all day. Like, this one song could have truly just been its own video. But it is really, really fascinating to me how it's written in this way, with the narrator like wanting to put himself in these people's shoes and experience this intense pain. Like, it's really fucking dark, and the way it's like told in these scenes through like the lens of different people, it really does feel like a movie. The song depicts a real event that took place there. A guy wanted to kill his rival, but the shot was misfired and hit an innocent kid instead. The killer flees and shuts himself in a hotel room. In the end, persecuted by the police, he commits suicide. The lyrics follow 2 lines of observation, the chronicle telling facts as they really happened, and the point of view of the protagonist giving his opinion on the subject. In the final stanza, the 2 lines of observation melt in the tragic climax that leads to the killer's suicide, though this last fact is not directly told because the protagonist goes away nauseated by the situation. I feel like that's one of those things that is so like ridiculously well done, but I do not want to experience again. Maybe not never again, but like not very often. It's a special occasion song if the occasion calls for a panic attack. Anyways, Edward Benz, 27 times.
I heard the old man's voice break, stutter once and stop it. I heard ascension starting confidently, halted by the sudden absence of a word. Stumbled and he sputtered, tried to find it back. Something was so simple gone now. When he finally gave up, told me, oh, it's like hell getting old. When you came into the store, did you know you'd show me your scars? I had a heavy heart. He carried a door, it shattered. Pain all wrapped in plastic, and he asked if I could fix it. Come by a little later, help him put it back on hinges. See, I'm far too old to lift it, and it's not for my house, it's my son's. When you opened up the door, what is it you thought you'd find? Nobody flinch. Later on the porch, we somehow got to talking. He told me of the house and how his son is schizophrenic, so they purchased it for him. The medication working, and they figured it would help him fit it, help him lead a normal life. But the pills made him sleep too much, and he couldn't keep a job as a result. So one day he just gave up on taking them, and that day she had called you, he locked
This album is
her
becoming
outside
really
of the
upsetting.
house.
Storytelling on this album is kind of unbelievable. Again, like everything's just so vivid.
I remember it, that story you told me came back clear tonight, here while writing. When I looked in your eyes and I heard what you'd said, how you'd probably would have died, were it not for to care for your daughter and what, how we drove in the night, still your son, how you seemed to look through me to some old projector screen, playing back the scene as you described it on a movie reel, as real as the minute when it happened, that memory moving behind me, that moment that changed you for good. You put the key into the lock and turned it.
It's just like so
Slide away slowly.
deeply tragic.
Went into the hall. Sun held the knife, standing off in the shadows. Lunged forward and tackled him, stabbing him over and breaking that window. He fled up the staircase. The ambulance came, stitched and filled him with blood while the cops took his son. I'm keeping my distance from hotels and
cool. I don't know what to say. Like the way the song like shifts perspectives throughout and like the timeline changes, like the writing on this album is just really captivating. And part of me is like I do want to listen to this again so I can like take in more of it and like really deep dive into this. But I'm also like I don't want to hear this again for a while. Like December's a hard month for me. Maybe I'll come back in a while. Much like the previous song, it is kind of interesting to hear how the narrator is like talking about these stories and like he's trying to like I don't really know how to word it, but it's like he's trying to understand like where all of this suffering comes from. Like he's looking for answers as to why all these awful things happen or something. And like in the end, he never finds the answers he's looking for. Like, you know, the last lyrics. And Ed, if you hear me, I think of you often. That's all I can offer. That's all I know how to give. And yeah, it's like he's like looking at the world around him and like observing all this trauma and kind of just being like baffled by it. Like I think the storytelling on this album is absolutely wild. Again, it is very cinematic. And I feel like at the beginning of this album, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is sad. But like these past couple of songs have really just like bulldozed me. Another song based on a real event, according to Jordan. Edward Benz had a schizophrenic son who took pills to keep his illness under control. One day he decided to stop taking the pills and he went mad, shutting himself into his house. His father came, and when he opened the door with the key, his son assaulted him with a knife, stabbing him maybe 27 times. Next track. I See Everything. Let's hope this one's happier.
Like any morning of my junior year, I stumble in the classroom late, but this day I see faces I feel in air like a funeral, like a wake as I sit down. Teacher speaking, somewhat somberly, but still confident and calm. Part eulogy, her speech, and part pope, part celebration song. Her warmth and smile, she passes photocopies out to us of entries from a journal kept so long ago. She starts to read, and suddenly it's 1980, March 5. The cancer is furious, but our son is resilient. We
Great.
have all the faith, we'll get through this no matter what the end. July 9, there's a suffering when I look in his eyes. He's been through so much, we've all been through so much, but what incredible resolve. Our little boy shows only 7, standing face to face with death. He said it's easy to find people who have suffered worse than him, like Jesus suffered worse than anyone. He told me last night when God abandoned him. And September 20, we've been playing in the yard. Lately his spirits are high, although his blood counts aren't.
Oh my God.
He feels tired all the time. January 19. We buried our son today, our youngest child, and while his death was ugly, we must not let it scare us from God. Abundant grace has restored him a brand new body and set him free from the torture. Finally rid of the cancer before the moment he left. He briefly rested from death, suddenly opened his eyes, said, I see everything, I see everything.
This is so severely depressing.
Kept your faith and held the brightness of life inside the smile of a child you had to bear. And I will never forget him or your steadfast faith. No, I will never forget you. Now 6 or 7 years later, I'm devoid of all faith. I am empty of comfort and I am weary of waiting. Though I felt nowhere what you had, I see nothing at all. Though I felt nowhere what he did, my eyes are closed.
Thank you so much for your album suggestion. Why would you do this to me? Like I've been saying, like the way that these stories about other people are kind of used to like enhance the narrator's story about like his own struggle and his own state of mind is really fascinating. Like he's wondering at the end like how the teacher kept that hopefulness throughout. I will never forget him or your steadfast faith. Now 6 or 7 years later, I'm devoid of all faith. Like these like stories about pain and trauma really just like enhance his own pain and show like how much he's struggling to cope, and like almost like it makes him feel worse about himself because he's like, why am I struggling to cope so much when these other people like get through? Yeah, it is an interesting way to write a song, like seeing all the dates go by. It's also interesting because like there are the songs on this album that are very like diaristic and like written as letters, so to have that done from a different perspective is interesting. This is a lot. Let's keep going. A Broken Jar. Sounds nice and cheery.
So here goes, one last letter now. One last attempt to make sense. Who have I been writing to? I'm not sure anymore. What have I been trying to accomplish? It's a mystery, I guess. Self-made secrecy. Things get cloudy and now all these stories and the struggle as an undercurrent both get blurry by the minute, both get blurrier. So which voice is this then that I am writing in? Is it my own or his? Have I been losing it completely?
The guitar is nice.
Or has it been fabricated, fashioned by
Feels very haunting.
I know I knocked the table over because I watched the jar break, and I've been trying to repair it every single stupid day, but won't the cracks still show? No matter how well it's assembled, can I ever just decide to let it die and let you go? All my motives and every single narrative below reflects that moment when it broke, and will I never let it go? No matter what, now I am throwing all the shards away, discarding every fragment and fumbling uncertain towards
Build with the drums.
no one wants to happen, that no one's gonna clap for it all, but that still has to be.
So this is the last letter. Doesn't seem to know why he's writing anymore. Who have I been writing to? I'm not sure anymore. What have I been trying to accomplish? It's a mystery, I guess. Self-made secrecy. Now I'm throwing all the shards away, discarding every fragment, and fumbling uncertain towards a curtain call that no one wants to happen, that no one's going to clap for at all, but that still has to be. Seems to be about his own death. That was a pretty short one. Let's get into All Our Bruised Bodies and the Whole Heart Shrinks. That is a title.
So now, tell me how your story goes. Have you ever suffered? If so, did you get better, or if you never quite recovered from it? Did you find your lover laying in your bedroom with another, and then did you let it hover over you and everything else well after the fact? Show me all your bruises. I know everybody wears them. They broadcast the pain. How you hurt, how you reacted. Tell me everything. Tell me everything. You know, were you told
Where it kicks in.
how cruel the whole world can be? Did anybody ever tell you that? Tell me what your purpose is, who it was that put you here, and why. Did anybody really put you here at all?
I do think it's funny how much I've come around on the vocal delivery since the first track.
I'm not sure if I'm ready.
Now I'm like, they couldn't sound any other way. It wouldn't work.
How strong I am, what I'm made of. I'm not sure I am ready yet to walk through the fire. I'm not sure I can handle it. Do you think if the heart keeps on shrinking, one day there will be no heart at all? She lost her kid, only 7, to cancer. She answered with faith in her God and carried on while he was attacked by his son and
Yeah.
was stabbed in his
Really feels like we're kind of starting to wrap up the album, calling back to the previous songs.
Tell me what your worst fears are. I bet they look a lot like mine. Tell me what you think about when you can't fall asleep at night. Tell me about God.
do think it's cool how the song kind of like demands vulnerability from the listener. Show me all your bruises. I know everybody wears them. They broadcast the pain, how you hurt, how you reacted. Did cancer take your child? Did your father have a heart attack? Have you had a moment force the whole heart to grow or retract or just shrink? Does the heart shrink? Not sure if I'm ready yet to find out the hard way how strong I am, what I'm made of. Not sure I'm ready yet to walk through the fire. I'm not sure I can handle it. I do like how, like, it kind of takes the stories that we've heard about through the album and, like, uses them as a way to, like, reach out to the listener. It feels like there's, like, an openness between you and the music when you listen to it, if that makes sense. I think it's a really cool song. I think it's a really cool moment on the album. Everyone in the world comes at some point to suffering. I wonder when I will. I wonder. Everyone is out searching for someone or something. I wonder what I'll find. After plenty of songs about personal struggles and other people's stories, the narrator now asks, what about you? What are your struggles and past sufferings? Possibly in an attempt to cope and find common ground with his issues. We have reached the final track. You and I in unison.
What will I find? Some sacred thing to help me handle the tragedy? Or did I once? Did I have it and lose it? No one should ever have to walk through the fire alone. No one should ever have to brave that storm. No, everybody needs someone or something. Some days I swear I can feel you. Sweating the light through the window frame. The shapes it makes are always warmer, always brighter than the rest of what comes through. Some days I swear I can hear you sing to me or whisper my name in the slightest way. It's like the warmest light now laid across my bedroom floor is somehow actually you and not just sunlight. I have to remember to climb down the balcony. I put a flower on the back of its dress. It's probably best to forget it. It's probably best to let go.
I feel like I've just been crushed by this album at this point.
I finally fall into rest. Often later when I'm sleeping, you show up in my dreams. Just doing simple things like buying groceries. And when I wake
My
up,
heart has been ripped out,
just let me
stomped on.
get up to get breakfast or maybe just to get dressed. But the truth is, you were never there. You won't ever be. Sometimes I think I'm not either. So what do I do when every day still seems to start and end with you? Everybody has to let go someday. Everybody has to let go. I wonder when I will. I wonder. But if I still hear you singing in every city I meet, after I blur it all out, or every memory is, you never fade to the day. Your shit still haunted me then. Should I not just sing along? Should I not just sing along? In every goddamn empty church, in every tortured son, and almost giving up, and almost giving in. Until I die, I will sing our names in unison. Until I die, I will sing our names in unison. Until I die, until I.
Okay. Seems to be about this relationship that he's been holding on to throughout the album that he can't let go of even though it's over. Everybody has to let go someday. Everybody has to let go. I wonder when I will. I sing sweetly, hope that the notes will change, but I do not need it to happen. I'm not resigned to it. And if they never do, I'll sing your name in every line, just like I did throughout this. Just like I've always done in every gun, the empty church, and every tortured son. Until I die, I will sing our names in unison. Again, like the callbacks to the previous songs, like he sees this person that he's singing about in everything, like even in stories that have nothing to do with them. What a heart-wrenching time. Like I said earlier, I don't necessarily see myself going back to this album all the time for my own mental well-being. But I do think that when I do, it's really gonna slap me in the face, and I think that's great. And it is funny because I do appreciate when people recommend me music that I feel like broadens my taste a little bit, because I feel like if I casually heard these songs like in passing, I would probably think like, oh, maybe these aren't for me. But like sitting here and really like taking them in and reading along, I feel like this is like undeniably a pretty powerful album. It's very impactful, it's very affecting, and I really appreciated it even though it did hurt my feelings. That being said, I do kind of feel like I've just been through something. I feel a little emotionally exhausted. If I want to pick some favorite tracks, I'd say King Park, Edward Benz 27 Times, All Our Bruised Bodies. I feel like the second half of this album really just hit me hard on first listen. Feel free to let me know if there's anything that you would like me to check out on the channel. Suggestions are always very helpful. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. That would be very helpful. This whole video is up uncut, unedited on my Patreon if you're interested. I will see you next time for whatever we do next. Have a great rest of your day. Be kind to yourself. I feel the need to say after this album. See you next time. Goodbye.